My name is James Bero. I am from Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. I've been working with Compel Fitness now for 1 year, and I work in higher education as an undergraduate admission counselor. When I think back to when I first started last March, I joined the gym, and when I signed up, I was told that you could get personal training. And I was like, well, that's pretty cool. And they said that the first session was free, and I was like, well, that's even better. I got a call from a staff member of Compel Fitness, and when Compel Fitness called me, I had never heard of the company before, so I didn't know much about personal training in general. Clearly people that are going to be able to help me and help me grow, and so I decided to kind of just come in and give it a try. Initially, even when hearing I had a free session, I was like, well, I'll do the free session, but I don't know if I'll actually commit. I'll just go and see what it's like, because you always have that hesitation. My fitness experience before Compel was very limited, if you will. I only knew of cardio, and by that I would say I knew how to use the ellipticals and I knew how to go to group exercise classes. So there wasn't even really a strength training component to those. So I would say that it was pretty much strictly cardio, and that's where I felt most comfortable. My very first training experience with Compel was very eye-opening for me. So for the longest time, because I had done so much cardio, I always thought, oh, if we do anything cardio-based, I'll be all right. But when you combine the cardio and the strength training and you get one whole package, it's challenging. In that short time, I learned so much, and I felt so empowered. I learned how to do simple things, like how to properly do just like a bicep curl, or how to use bands and kettlebells and all of these types of things to really kind of drive myself forward into the next week before I would meet with the trainer again. So I felt really empowered by what I learned, and so at the end of my first session, I was really motivated. And I realized at that point that stagnant cardio of just going the same pace on an elliptical for 20 minutes was not going to help me blast the fat that I wanted to go away. So prior to starting my personal training with Compel, I used to go out and eat all of the time, and I would go to restaurants and bars, and I would try the food and the drinks, and it was absolutely fun. And I'm not going to say that that's not fun, because it totally is, but there has to be that right balance. So when I first started my personal training, I had what I thought was a good idea of nutrition and how to put good foods into my body. And so I thought really in my head it was, okay, I can't have a lot of carbohydrates, and I need to eat a lot of fresh fruits and vegetables, and just the things that you learn over the years just from TV and ads and people and things along those lines. So I thought I had a really good handle on nutrition, but after seeing some suggestions from the Compel Fitness staff, I quickly realized that maybe I didn't have as good of a handle, and maybe I did need some suggestions and assistance to really create that whole package to get that body I wanted, because it had to be more than just working out. I had to be fueling my body properly, and I now know what foods work for me to properly fuel my body as well as achieve my goals. But my plan is definitely always ever evolving. There are things that I learn every day about certain foods and certain things to put in your body to achieve those results and maintain the most healthy lifestyle. So, but I definitely am committed to always making those right choices and fueling my body properly. Over the last year, I've seen incredible results from my time working with Compel Fitness and the trainers. So at this present time, I've lost just over 30 pounds, and I've taken my body fat down 9%. And so it's been an incredible journey. And at one point in my life, I was around this weight, and it was for a very brief time when I was in college. I had gotten down not as low as I am now, but somewhere in the ballpark range. And I look at the picture of what I looked like then to what I look like now, and it's completely different. Your body looks incredibly different with lean muscle on it. You have the shape that you want. You have the appearance and the look that you want. You can be 200 pounds and have no lean muscle, and 200 pounds with lean muscle, and you will look incredibly different. And so at the end of this year, that's what I've learned. I've totally transformed my body, and I've transformed my life. My lifestyle is different. My results in terms of just, my consciousness of what I put into my body and my diet, everything has completely changed. And that's the way that I feel that I've achieved the results. I didn't just buy into working out more, and I didn't just buy into cutting carbs. I totally changed my entire life, diet and working out, and that's really what helped me achieve the results. I've got just a little bit here going. Yeah, so it's coming. For me, when I would think about how Compel has motivated me to continue my journey, I think back to when I very first started, and it was something so simple that didn't even have to necessarily do with the training. It was the friendliness and the personal attention that I received from the training staff. It was just the friendly, hello, how are you? Even on the days that we didn't train, just seeing them around the gym, always having that friendly connection, but also it keeps you motivated because you feel like there's somebody that's watching you and your progress and wants to see you succeed. And for me, that having the staff so personally involved in what I was doing kept me so motivated because I felt like I had an accountability partner. And I think for me, Compel was that motivator. The truth of the matter is that this entire process is a journey. It's a journey through the rest of your life. You can ruin 1 year's worth of work in 3 months if you really want to. And I have no plans on doing that. My life has changed for the better. And I still have so much more to learn. For anyone who thinks that money is a concern when they're looking at personal training, I would tell them that there is a plan that's going to work for you. Even if the top plan looks way too expensive, there's most likely other plans that can work for you. And also you have to determine, where do your priorities lie? You're sitting at this table ready to make a decision to change your life, to change your body, to change you. And how important is that? Is there any way in your budget that you can reassign those funds to make it more feasible and a good option for you? Because long term, it's going to pay off more than maybe where you were putting your money beforehand. I would say for anyone who wakes up in the morning and they take a look in the mirror, or they're going through life and they're maybe going to a store and they're trying on clothes and they're just not seeing what they want to see, stop making excuses. You have to take that internal motivation and take that step to make that change. And I think that that's where Compel Fitness really came into play, is that when I personally decided that I was ready to make that change in my life, after trying that free training session and after having my first session and feeling that motivation, it was everything that I needed. And so Compel really came into play when I needed that helping hand to get me started on that journey and to motivate me. And today, I am eternally grateful for having that support when I first started. Boom.